coming at you. Don't know what's up with the YouTube stuff here. There we go. I think we're rocking and rolling. I think we got it here. So third, fourth time's a charm. There's still a delay with YouTube, so hopefully you guys are seeing me and hearing me okay. Don't know what's going on with that, but today is, like I said at the beginning, August 22nd, 2021, coming at you live stream, talking about season 11, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, whatever you want to talk about, the Walking Dead universe as a whole. Season 11, episode 1 and 2 are out now on AMC Plus, so we're going to talk about it. Yeah, I can't see any of the chat, so hopefully you guys are doing well. It's just kind of weird when I can't see anything here. So hopefully we'll connect and get it rolling. Hopefully there's not a delay for you, for me, for everybody here. So don't know if you saw the episodes, but I'll talk about I guess both. I don't know how to do this because season 11, episode 1 airs today on AMC. And if you had AMC Plus, like this is kind of crazy to think about AMC and AMC Plus and seeing stuff so early and talking about it. And if people want to talk about it or don't, but I don't know. It's just one of those weird things that I've seen both episodes now, and some people haven't even seen the first episode, which is kind of crazy to think that people have not seen the episode and we have already seen 2 of them. That's kind of unfair for a lot of people because that's kind of what would happen out with spoilers back in the day. But before, it was like people didn't have to watch that. Now, so many people, if you have AMC Plus or however you watch it, you can watch the episodes and then be ahead of the game, which is cool if you can have access to it. But if you don't, I don't know how it's going to work. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. So thank you, Negan1, Madison, Paul C, Ada B, Mark, Haley from Maryland, Northern Ireland, and the UK. Pretty cool stuff. Hey, Mike, what are we doing? So some stuff with me. Talk about me a little bit. Wait till we connect and some more people come in here. I got back into the world of physical therapy. I am a home health physical therapist traveling around, one county in Florida, and I definitely am excited to get back into the fold with that. I'm a full-time home health physical therapist and been doing more of like the training and getting used to the stuff again. So hopefully we'll be able to get more patients and I'll be able to see that. So it's going to take a hit for the YouTube channel some way, somehow. I still want to post daily videos, but it's just going to be a little tougher because just with the time, before when you have all the time in the world and the physical therapy wasn't really a part of my life as much as it's going to be now. It's always a part of my life. It's one of those things that'll stay with me forever. But when I didn't have a full-time job, I could do more on physical therapy. I could do more on YouTube. And now it's kind of sucky because I want to be more talking about The Walking Dead because it's back on TV and it's back to talk about things. And it's like, I love the idea of talking about The Walking Dead and we're going to have more content and videos and just everything. Now I have a job and it's like, oh man, it's like, that's how it works out though, right? When I have all the time and I could use the job, I don't have one. And now that I want to put more time towards YouTube because of, Walking Dead being the final season, we'll make it work. We're still going to post out stuff and I got to just post videos and make them and maybe make several videos ahead of time and post them in the mornings. But the good thing about the schedule is I'll be able to have time to post videos still. I'm not going to work, a straight 9 to 5. So some days will be shorter, some days will be longer, some days will be this. And, I'll still be doing live streams on Sundays. And that's a good part of it because when I was looking at jobs, I really like talking about The Walking Dead with you on Sundays for these live streams. And the schedule is going to be, able to do that for a long, long time, even though in September, I'm going to be away for that, so I won't be able to do a live stream, but we'll be all right with that. But thank you guys for the greetings and congratulations and everything for my job. I truly appreciate it. For me, we love talking about The Walking Dead, but it is a family for the PT channel, and I've gotten to know a lot of you guys from different parts of the country and the world and just all over, and it's been a great thing, and it's The Walking Dead that binds us, but it's ultimately caring about how we're doing and how things are going, and in this crazy world we're living in, it does matter for that. So it's just a good thing to have that. So that being said, hopefully you've seen some of The Walking Dead season 11 episode 1 or 2. They're both on AMC Plus, So thank you, Sheila B. But I do like the idea of talking about The Walking Dead. Thank you, Rob K. Appreciate it. I do. Hopefully you saw my video about Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. Let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead a little bit. So Season 7 is going to be premiering on October 17th on AMC. If they continue the week early stuff, it's going to be the 10th. So at the beginning of October, we're going to have a lot of stuff on AMC+. You should have the final episode or episodes of The Walking Dead Season 8 Part 1. So I guess Season 11 Episode 8. So Season 11 Episode 8. World Beyond, Season 2, Episode 1, and Fear the Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 1. So there's going to be a lot of stuff around the same time, so it's just going to be, I don't know. Thank you, Carolyn, for the congratulations and everything. I appreciate it, guys. It's definitely going to be a lot of Walking Dead stuff in October, and I don't know if they're going to continue on with every Sunday a week early for the World Beyond and or Fear the Walking Dead, because before it was Thursdays. And I like it a week early because I have access to it. But if for people who don't, that's got to suck. And like nothing really major happens in the first 2 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 11. But what if something does, or when something does, right? Major, like a character death, a major character death. Or are we not going to have those this season? I would assume we are because it's the final season. But how many places are going to be saying that on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? It's going to be like, I can't believe so-and-so, this happened. I can't believe that happened, right? And it's going to spread like wildfire. And it's kind of like, what do? Do you get the information and share it? Of course, right? Or do you wait and then talk about it when it's there? I think you share it, but you don't put it in the thumbnail. You don't put it in the title. You kind of try and put it away somewhere big. You kind of hide it, and then people want to... Like, I see things on Instagram from time to time, and they say, like, spoiler. Okay, really, spoiler. And you have to, like, scroll through the pictures, and there's, like, 2 or 3 pictures. So if you get to the 3rd or 4th picture of it, and then you finally see the spoiler, it's like you actively swipe there to see it. It's not like they're on one big... just not a big one post that you could just go through your feed. And so I don't know. So I don't know. But ultimately, once we get information, we like to share it with you guys. But I don't want to spoil it for anybody when stuff happens. And, I remember Season 7, the summer going into Season 7. And that was the Negan lineup, and it was the everything. And once we found out that it was Glenn and Abraham, or Abraham and then Glenn, it was kind of like, I can't believe this is going to happen. But then people are like, is that really going to happen? Are they trying to mess with us? Are they trying to mix things up? Well, who was filming? Who was not filming? Who was this? Where was this? Who was this scene? Who was seen? What was that? What was this? Who was this? Who was actually there? Who was filmed after episode 1? And then you start to do the deductive reasoning and break it down. And you're like, all right, it's got to be Glenn and Abraham because they haven't filmed at all. You would have seen them around town and it would have been, it was just kind of crazy. And I remember making so many different videos talking about like, would they get rid of this character, that character? Would they really get rid of Rick? And there's been a lot of talk about Rick. Is he coming back for the final season? And I don't know if you guys have seen the Talking Dead preview special for The Walking Dead Season 11. Angela Kang is on there in studio with Chris Hardwick. And then Norman Reedus is on the television, like via satellite. And then Mercer comes on next to, or Michael James Shaw comes next to Norman Reedus. So they talk about some things. And it was kind of a pretty good episode. They talked about Season 11, and Angela Kang does give some stuff away. So we do know about Pamela Milton, Lance Hornsby, and Pope. So Pope is a character that was in one of the promo photos that they shared. And Angela Kang confirmed it, that is Pope. So, and Norman Reedus couldn't really believe that she did that. She was like, I can't believe you gave so much away there, so it's something that the showrunner can say as much as they want or as little as they want. And I'm just glad Angela Kang does say more than Gimple. That's not saying much because Gimple says nothing, but Angela Kang, I do feel, does give more information than not. So it's one of those things where Angela Kang does give up some information. I don't know why they really gave us the information of who Pope is, because that's kind of a big thing. We found out about it in season 10, episode 17, kind of building up for it. And now we kind of know. Mike Allen says, Pope is Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog. He does have that vibe with the glasses and the mustache. It just needs to be like a bigger mustache. It's kind of like, hopefully I think the actor is going to be good, because I liked him in Dark Knight and a couple other projects I saw him in. I would assume he's going to have an accent, because he kind of has that. I kind of see him talking kind of like he did in Dark Knight, just maybe mixed a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Hope the character makes sense. It's entertaining. We buy into the fact that he's going to be a leader of the Reapers, which the Reapers are going to be bad news. Like, the Reapers are definitely the people with the masks. They followed Maggie. They're going to be involved with being the main antagonist for the first part. Then probably maybe episode 9 and 10 into the second part, maybe it wraps up. So we're going to have that roll into the first and second parts, which is good, because we do need an antagonist. So if the Reapers weren't there, it was going to be our group looking for food, and then our other group with the Commonwealth. That's not really a big enough antagonist problem. Like, you're in a zombie apocalypse. You got to find food, water, shelter, safety, ammo, weapons. You know, that's all the stuff we know. This is season 11. We're not talking about the first season of it, right? We're not talking about how do you actually kill a zombie? How do you do this, right? It's just, we know how these things are going, and the Reapers are going to bring some craziness to it, which I think would be good for the show. Lincoln K asks, Q&A Bri, what's your thoughts on how Maggie is handling things? Both episodes, if you've seen. So I definitely want to talk about Maggie I'll talk about that in the last half hour. I'm trying to keep it somewhat spoiler free for the first half hour. In the last half hour, we'll definitely talk about Maggie, how she's being the leader in the subway. And is she doing a good job? Is she not? It's debatable. But I know that Maggie is getting a lot of hate, right? Maggie, I like Maggie. I like Lauren Cohan. I think Maggie is, an OG character from season 2. She's done some things up and downs. I feel for her with Negan. It's crazy to think that people still are like, Maggie needs to get over it. She left. She needs to get over it with Negan. I'm tired of her stuff, right? And I'm like, well, let's say you're Maggie, right? You're Maggie, or you're Maggie, or you're Maggie, or you're Maggie. So you are the character of Maggie in The Walking Dead. And you're a man or a woman, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. And you lose your spouse. You lose your loved one. The person you care about probably the most in this world, because her father was gone, her sister was gone. At that point, Glenn was the most important person in Maggie's life. And the person killed your loved one, your husband, your wife, your kid, your whoever. The most important person in your life. That person is gone, and it was killed. Didn't have to happen at all. It was chose to be done by a person. It was just in a lineup. Abraham was gone and picked, and then boom, Daryl came in and punched him, and then Glenn was picked after that. So you're going to tell me that you're going to be okay with seeing that person, being around that person, knowing that that person's alive and your loved one is not, right? And I'm not here to judge Negan and this and that. That's already been done. Been there, done that, got the 6 t-shirts, right? Even though Negan is important for the show and he's important for Alpha and the Whispers and the story for going forward, but you got to be like, come on, man. I understand where Maggie is coming from. If the person I know killed my loved one and I have to see them every day, it just wouldn't be okay. It just wouldn't be all right. And you have to you have to play nice with them because they did certain things and you know that they were useful while you went away and they did things for the group and everyone around them. It's like you have to play nice because if you take Negan out, people look at you in a different light. There's a lot of things to it, and that's good writing. That's good complex writing and storytelling and stuff in there. So, but Negan is hilarious. He's probably one of the funniest characters on the show. Like Princess is probably the newest. She's the funniest new character. Negan is definitely a funny character. Eugene's hilarious. Like they all have their comedy. I mean, Abraham to me will probably go down as the funniest Walking Dead character ever. You know, I feel like Negan is pretty hilarious. If Negan didn't kill Abraham or Glenn, or if he just killed Abraham and saved Glenn, would you have not liked him as much? You'd be like, nope, killed Abraham, not going to like him. Or what if he saved Glenn or did that and just took out Abraham? Would it be better? Would it be the same? Would it be okay? I don't know. We'll never know because this is kind of how it's gone. But, you know, we'll see how it's going. But I shared some promo photos for Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. You see Morgan and Grace and baby Morgan in hazmat biohazard suits. Pretty cool stuff. You see him in the submarine. You see Sherry and Dwight in some location we don't know. We see June. We see Sarah and Luciana in some other spot. We see Althea and Daniel. So they're building somewhere, and I really hope it's awesome for where we're going with Season 7. I really hope it expands the world of Fear the Walking Dead with Civic Republic connections, whether it's World Beyond, whether it's Rick, whether it's The Walking Dead. We really want to expand that too. And the other thing is that there's a picture with Strand and some other individual. And we'll see what happens with who that person is, but I know it's not the person, but it kind of looks like Troy. If you look at it quick, from Season 3, you're like, is that Troy Otto? Nah, I don't think so. But, you know, if you want to have a conspiracy talk and this and that, it's just, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, Mark Simmons, Strand needs to go. Yeah, Strand is terrible. Strand has done so many different things. He against Daniel, against Morgan, against stuff. It's like, when is he going to get his just desserts, right? When's karma going to catch up with Strand? Is he going to do something heroic to save Alicia, to save the group? I don't know. Like, that's kind of what you think in these stories, that somebody needs to be doing a redemption story. Like Negan, right? Is Negan going to do something so redeeming that Maggie has to be like, all right, Negan's a good guy? They asked that on Talking Dead. What could Negan do to have Maggie and them be in a better place or care about, you know, like what could Negan do that Maggie's okay with Negan being around? Save Herschel, save Maggie. I guess if Negan dies, it'll be fine, but we want Negan and Maggie to be around each other to see how the story plays out. And there's definitely some of that in the first 2 episodes, and I think that's going to be a big thing for at least the first part of Season 11. But it's not going to be like, Maggie's unhappy with Negan. All right. Like, they're going to be forced to work together. They're going to be forced to do with things. It's just where the story's going too. So, but I haven't seen my guy here, my wrestling guy. But SummerSlam was yesterday. I watched a lot of it. It started at like 8:00 East Coast time. I'm here on the East Coast. So, and hopefully you guys are okay if you live in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, the Northeast, the New England area with the hurricane. I think it became a tropical storm, Henri. It's like Henry with an I, but it's Henri. It hit up there, or it's about to hit up there. I haven't checked the weather. I know my dad's up there in New Jersey, so I talked with him yesterday, and he wasn't too worried about it. And he said a couple places down the shore were still having things, so they weren't too worried about it at all. So hopefully you're safe and sound. I know some people are all over the country, so I know all about hurricanes. So if you had to leave or be there as well too. So Lou says that CM Punk pop on Friday was insane. I didn't actually watch it. I saw the photos on there too. So, but I know that CM Punk is part of AEW. So I'll have to see what happens with that. And yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan. It was really after my time when I watched wrestling. But I know he's important for a lot of fans, and he's big important for the state of wrestling right now too. So Xmas Girl asks, Q&A, your family okay in New Jersey? Yeah, Xmas Girl, as far as I know, a lot of my family lives in South Jersey, so it was going to be more North Jersey, New York area there too. And if you were away from the shore, the ocean, the shore, and the beaches, you are going to be okay, because the storm surges were mostly the problem and flooding. I'll talk with my dad later. So maybe my dad's on a canoe somewhere to go. No, I'm just kidding. But he should be all right. Everybody I know should be okay. But I'll check in with them afterwards. After this live stream. It's kind of the thing to do. But yeah, so Fear the Walking Dead promo photos, posted that on yesterday. World Beyond, I have some more. I got to make a video about that. Some definitely new cast members and stuff going to be World Beyond Season 2. I really hope they expand that show big time, because the first season was like good. It probably could have been like 5 episodes, but instead it was 10. There was really like 4 episodes were really pointless. A couple were okay, and then the final 4 were good. So, 7, 8, 9, 10 were the best part of the season, setting up into season 2. Will, Felix, Civic Republic, Hope, Iris, we'll see where it goes. I hope it expands more of the Civic Republic. We need answers with it being the final season, because it's supposed to be 2 seasons. So we'll have to see where it goes too. So Connor asks, Q&A, how are they going to get Rufus out of the submarine and through that wasteland? I don't think they can make a suit for that dog. That's a great question, Connor. That's most likely a thing that they're just going to look past. That's the type of thing that the Walking Dead universe just like, nah, we're good. Well, he just waited it out. Like, Rufus stayed in the submarine, because Rufus is not going to... Well, first of all, how'd they get Rufus in? Right? They carried him up the ladder. Like, you put him up there and you pulled him up. Because it's some, like, dinky, crappy ladder that they use to get up and down from the submarine. So... But either way, I think Rufus and Skidmark will be okay. Nobody wants that to see too. So Lincoln K says, who's the top 5 longest PT peeps? I don't know, Lincoln. That's a great question. I mean, I know you've been around for a long time. I know Mike's been around. I know Mark, Xmas Girl. Some people that I could think of now, but I haven't seen them in a long time. So I don't know. Rob K's been there. I mean, I don't know. Probably a lot of people that have been... I know a lot of people that are members are definitely been there for supporting me for a long time, or supported the channel. Not really just me, but the channel as well. And I truly been Negan One's been around. I know some people changed their names, so they've been around longer, so it's kind of tough to see where it goes. Carolyn Battison says, I watched SummerSlam this morning, and I've got to say the ending was epic. Brock Lesnar is back. So I actually didn't watch the ending, Carolyn. I saw the last match I watched was with the triple threat match with what's her name, Charlotte Flair, and I stopped watching there because I was like, we still have the Edge and Seth Rollins match, the Goldberg and Bobby Lashley match, and then the John Cena Roman Reigns match, and I was like, if these matches are 10 more minutes, that's 30 more minutes, and I've been watching this show, I've been watching this stuff forever. I'm gonna give it a break and just watch to see what happens there. But Becky Lynch is back, and what's the face? You said Brock Lesnar is back too. But Brock Lesnar like comes and goes like every 6 months. Like, he finishes his contract, takes some months off, and then comes right back. So it would be kind of cool to see if he ever fights in the UFC ever again. Brock Lesnar. It was kind of a cool story, but I don't think so now. A lot of those heavyweights are really good, and I don't see anybody beating Ngannou, but it was kind of cool too. So Xmas Girl 304 says, wait, Charlotte Flair? Is that Ric Flair's daughter? Yes, ma'am. Charlotte Flair is Ric Flair's daughter. For early this I've seen, Charlotte Flair actually came out with Ric Flair. Sorry, Ric Flair actually came out with Charlotte Flair for a lot of her early part of her career. And now Ric Flair, he's still alive, but he's an old man. And Charlotte's actually really athletic, and she's really a good wrestler. But ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead is back, and I talked about it earlier. I don't know if you were watching this or not. It's kind of weird to know that I've already watched the first 2 episodes, and some people haven't even watched the first episode. And it's not because it's been out. It's because today is the first episode airing on AMC, and a lot of people just watch it on AMC. So tonight, AMC Talking Dead will actually be on after. I want to say, I forget who it is on there. I want to say it's Negan, Princess, and Angela Kang. I know Angela Kang's back on there, and I want to say it's Negan and Princess. I could be wrong, but that's who I think is on Talking Dead tonight. But that's just on memory, so I could be wrong for that too. Talking Dead is interesting to watch, and it's cool to see that I like Chris Hardwick. I think he does a good job on hosting, and he brings up some good points, and he asks some good questions. Angela Kang actually said some things too. So we do know, if you watch the Talking Dead preview special, we do know that the Walking Dead season 11, that we know about Pope and Pamela Milton. Pamela Milton is part of a political family like the Kennedys or the Bushes, she said. So I don't know if we're going to have Pamela Milton's going to have a husband, and she didn't really say much about Sebastian Milton, but Lance Hornsby is going to do a bunch of different things in the Commonwealth, and I'm kind of excited to see the differences, because it's cool to see the comic, and we all know that the show is the show and the comic is the comic, because there's definitely differences every season. You know, there has to be differences with the cast and the writing and the story. So Rob K asks, Talking Dead is in the studio this week? Yes. The Talking Dead special was the preview special was in studio as well, and I believe going forward it's going to be in the studio. So I don't know if Negan's going to be there and Princess is going to be there, but Angela Kang was there on the preview special. So it could be interesting to see if they're going to do it that way. Like Angela Kang is in studio I'm guessing they still film it in California. Why don't they just move that to Georgia? Film Talking Dead in Georgia, right? We'll see. Via satellite could be Negan and Princess, because that's what they did in the preview special with Daryl and Mercer on there too. So Mark, I was going to bring that up too. Mark Simmons says, Mercer dropping the F-bomb live was great. So Chris Hardwick asks Michael James Shaw, who plays Mercer, how do you feel about the haircut and how it is? And he's like, I effing love it, but it was bleeped out, and like it loses audio for like, I don't know, 5-6 seconds, and you can see he's like, oh, and he's like, and then he drops an S-bomb. He was like, oh, it was like funny, and they were cracking up. And then Chris Hardwick was like, why can't we say the F-bomb? If you are scared and, you know, upset about the F-bomb now, we watch a show about zombies and all that stuff too. You know, what's the problem? But he just seems like a regular dude. Mike Allen says Mercer didn't go to West Point. Well, if you watch season 11, episode 2, I will say that's wrong. So we'll see. I was going to actually bring that up there too. So West Point is in New York. I've been there. My brother went there. And that's the Army. When it's Army versus Navy, you think of West Point, New York versus Annapolis, Maryland. The Army versus the military versus the Naval Academy. So that's who plays in the Army-Navy game. And Mercer on Talking Dead, the preview special, says that he went to West Point and he was a Marine. And I brought up the question because, you know, I don't know everybody's angle, where you could be whatever you want. You could be in the Navy, you could be in the Army, you could be in the Marine, you could be in the Air Force, you could be in multiple branches of the military. But I kind of would think that if you went to West Point, you would be a second lieutenant in the Army, and then you would stay in the Army. Or maybe you were a Marine first, because he said he went to West Point and he was a Marine. So that's what Michael James Shaw said on Talking Dead. And I don't know if it's a mishap, because if he was a West Point grad, I would assume he stayed in the Army, or maybe he was a Marine before the Army, or maybe he did both. I don't know, but the way he said it, it kind of just didn't fit with me going on my thing. But I know people do multiple things, and maybe it's nothing, maybe it's a misstep, maybe it doesn't make sense, or we'll see. So, Xmas Girl 3 or 4 says, have you seen the Man Crush TikTok on JDM? It's hilarious. I have not. I don't go with TikTok. I don't mess with TikTok. But I don't know any of that stuff. So we got a minute and 20 seconds before we get into talk about both episodes. We talked about the first episode last week. We'll go through that again, but it definitely feels like episode 1101 and 1102 is just like a bigger episode. And it really is. The way they shot it was probably they filmed it all at once. And the way the early word was that we were going to get a double feature the military, or the episode was going to be a longer season premiere. It was going to be a 2-episode season premiere. But I just think how they filmed it versus how they aired it, it definitely works to be 2 different episodes, but it's basically just a longer 1 episode for the train stuff, the Commonwealth stuff, and they set up some pretty big things for the 3rd episode. So again, in 30 seconds, we'll be talking about spoilers. So if you're worried about spoilers, please stop watching because I don't want to ruin anything for you, even though it says spoiler warning in the title. I don't want to be the guy who is spoiling stuff for you because, I just don't want to be ruining anybody's love for the show and stuff there for it. But ultimately, guys, I thank you for that. I'll give you an update now before I get into the spoilers of my book series. So book 15 is going to be titled Captured, and it's 18 chapters, 245 pages, and I'm halfway done the edit. I got the first 9 chapters. My wife has read the first 2 chapters, and then we have I got to read the back 9 chapters and then go through and edit one more time after she's done, and then I'll be ready to go. So I'm super excited to see how it goes down too. So Ballstown and says West Point grads can transfer to the Marine Corps. A few do each graduating year. So good to know, Ballstown Ench. So I like the ideas that. So Mike Allen says you were right. Reaper is military trained. So let's talk about the episodes, guys. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. So season 11, episode 1 and 2 are part Acheron, part 1 and part 2. So the first part is a group goes to a military base. They want to get food. They get MREs. These walkers are sleeping. I guess sleeping walkers are called lurkers. That's kind of what killed or bit into Herschel's leg, was a sleepy walker. And you see those in the train station, and we have walkers that are asleep. So they go there. The women go in. They get the MREs. They kill all the walkers, or a bunch of the walkers. They go up, and it's really dramatic and over the top. They get the MREs taken back to Alexandria, that is still rebuilding after the Whisper of War. Negan is working with Father Gabriel, giving out food. He gets the MRE bag from a couple people and looks at Maggie. There's a, contentious stuff between them. Dun, dun, dun. What will happen? Herschel Ree, even though I guess he's Baby Herschel. Young Herschel comes over to Maggie, says, I have a surprise for you, or Cole has a surprise for you. We get to meet Agatha, Duncan, and Frost, 3 people from Maggie's group from the Meridian. That is Maggie's old place where she was staying. The Meridian has to be pretty close because they're walking there. They don't have horses. They don't have buggies. They don't have any transportation whatsoever. They're walking there. So where's the Meridian? Virginia, West Virginia, somewhere close, somewhere far. But either way, that's where they're going. They decide to come up with that point. And they decide to go to the Meridian because they need food. It starts raining. They go into the subway tunnel. The subway tunnel is where they stay away from the rain, but they don't know what's down there. Negan's trying to lead. They brought him along evidently because he's the only one that knows DC. He knows the subway tunnels, the streets, the areas there as well. And he even brings it up where he says, am I the only one that can read a map? Everyone doesn't like Negan. Maggie and her crew do not like Negan. Even Alden's trying to come at Negan. And you're like, man, Alden, why are you coming at Negan? You were a savior. What are you talking about? Know your role, right? Negan gives it back to Alden. It's pretty funny. Gage and Roy. Roy is C. Thomas Howell's character. Gage is the younger guy that was from Hilltop, who actually went after Lydia in season 9, I believe. And it's not going to work out for them because in the second episode, they die. Well, at least Gage definitely does. C. Thomas Howell's character, Roy, gets shot by an arrow by the Reapers at the end of the episode, so I would assume he dies too. So they're in the subway tunnels. They're going through stuff. They see all these body bags and stuff and all this crazy stuff, and they're trying to come up with the stuff of what to do. Negan, Maggie, Daryl punches Negan because Negan mentions Glenn. Like it's a low blow to kind of do what he does there too. So, Xmas Girl asks, did you get season 6 vibes when the trapped the survivors were fighting the walkers? Mostly flashes of survivors slashing walkers. Epic Easter egg for me. So yeah, in the second episode, they see a bunch of walkers and they're taking out the walkers kind of in the train cars and they're fighting them and everything. And it's definitely some cool stuff. Episode 609 is the main walker slasher stuff that I've seen. It's pretty awesome. I don't think it's ever going to get better than that, but it was pretty fun and pretty awesome to watch. Negan, Maggie, they don't like each other. Maggie wants to kill Negan. Negan knows what's going on, but Negan is got to follow Maggie's lead because Maggie was picked to lead everybody in this journey because that's the way they wanted. They voted and they made Maggie the lead. But Negan's going to lead. That's what Negan does. So Tommy Griffin Jr. And the other part of it, you see the Commonwealth. So we see Yumiko, Princess, Eugene, and Ezekiel. They get interrogated, level 1 processing by the 2 auditors. They come up with a story about what to say. They're trying to stick to their story, but Eugene's freaking out. Princess kind of knows some stuff. She's very smart. She can read people. She can do a lot of things, put 2 and 2 together. She's probably a survivor where she's got to be able to trust people, know people, read people. And she figures out stuff about the Commonwealth, that these 2 are sleeping together and they have to take their armor off. So they come up with a plan to go somehow leave their, not really jail cell, but cages, that they go get the armor. And so you see Princess and Ezekiel walking down. And then behind them are 2 Commonwealth soldiers. And it's actually Yumiko and Eugene in the armor. One of the other people come around. What are you doing with these people, these prisoners? Reprocessing, they say, because that's what happens if you don't pass level 1 processing. Don't know how they got the armor and whatever they did. But either way, they're about to leave and get out. Princess looks at the board of missing persons. We see Yumiko's brother posted a note and a picture of Yumiko on there. You don't see Yumiko's brother, but we'll meet him later this season, obviously. Who we found out is a thoracic surgeon at the hospital there, so he's important. And Yumiko finds out this information. And when they're being interrogated, Mercer is there with the interrogation. He is basically there to watch over things. I thought he would be more involved with the Miltons. How can you be in 2 places with 2 people? So I'm not sure. So ultimately, we find out the backstory about Yumiko went to Oxford and Harvard, and she's a lawyer, so she's a pretty good lawyer. Even though I don't know how she was Magna's lawyer, but she was. But either way, Princess worked at a music shop. Ezekiel was a zookeeper, and I don't know what Eugene said, but Eugene's dad was a mechanical engineer. And so you get to find out some stuff about them, and it was pretty interesting, that backstory. So back at the train yard or the train, walkers start coming down the train, and everybody's trying to get into the train car that's there, being blocked off by the fallen rubble and the debris. Dog runs away, goes underneath the train. Daryl goes after him, so Daryl leaves the group to go with Dog. Everybody gets on top of the train. Negan is the second to last. Maggie is the last person. Not sure why she's the last person, but she is. She tries to get up on top of the train. She slips. Negan does not help her. He doesn't hurt her, but he doesn't help her. Maggie is about to fall, slips, and that's how the episode ends. You pick that back up in episode 2. You see underneath the train car is how the episode starts. You see that there's the walkers, and you see Maggie falls down. Tries to kill a walker or 2, tries to jump back up, and then she comes back down, gets the gun, boom, 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 shoots a bunch of walkers, and she runs out of bullets, and that's how the episode, then opening credits, and that's how it starts. Evidently, she gets away from the walkers, crawls underneath the train, gets into one of the compartments and starts banging on it. The group inside the train opens it. Maggie comes up. She's safe. Reminds me a lot of people of Glenn underneath the dumpster. Is it a callback, connection, Easter egg? I don't know, but either way, she gets away and she's safe. Negan has this whole conversation about she was going to kill me. And Maggie says, well, you were going to kill me. No, there's a difference of not helping her versus hurting her. There is a big difference. Negan did not stab her, shoot her, injure her. He just walked away. He didn't help her at all, which is not good, none to say, but it's different. Hurting her, killing her versus not helping her. It's not really the best thing there, too. Jamie Parker says, Bri, fake Stephanie will be in level 2 processing, which is also a fake Commonwealth too. So that's a great question, Jamie, because you see fake Stephanie, what I'm calling is fake Stephanie. Stephanie is a character that I believe is there to gain more information about Eugene and everything in our group. And the real Stephanie, please stand up, we'll meet her in probably the second part. So Lisa Loeb Stephanie is fake Stephanie. So we'll see. We see her at the end of the episode of episode 2. So Duncan, the big guy, comes over to Negan and threatens them. And it's kind of a thing where Negan just tells this, doesn't lie. He's telling the truth. Father Gabriel even asks, like, are you serious? You're just going to tell us the truth? And Negan doesn't have anything to lie. Whether you love or hate Negan, he's honest. He's going to tell you just how it's been right there too. So Maggie and Negan, Maggie doesn't know what to do because are you really going to take Negan out? They don't. They decide to, let Negan go and go start unlocking the doors on the train car and keep going forward. So then we go to Daryl. Daryl and Dog, they're walking down the different train tracks. And he comes across more murals and paintings and stuff on the wall. He comes across a mural that has people wearing crowns. And if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, Angela Kang talks about society and they say about the people of different societal tiers. And that's going to be a theme throughout the whole season. The Commonwealth, like Pamela Milton's, the political family. They're going to be high society versus our group is probably low society, But you see the homelessness people that were living in the train station and train tracks and everything. And he sees the murals with the people wearing the crowns, and the same people are poor. They're rich and they're in Capitol Hill, and then they're poor and they're hungry, and then they get attacked by people. And so you see all that stuff. Then you see it's a dead Walker body that had his arm was handcuffed to a briefcase that was filled with $100 bills. Someone cut the arm off, opened the briefcase, and there's just $100 bills in it. Nobody needs it now. $100 bills are useless. So you need food, water, safety, money, shelter. I mean, not money, but ammunition. You need that versus money now, or who cares, right? So Dog hears something in the distance, which is probably Roy. He runs through the tunnel. Daryl goes after him. Daryl, it's real dramatic. He goes there. Somehow a walker gets in the tunnel. He gets through it, takes out the walker with his crossbow. He comes out the other end, uses his Morning Star, takes out 2-3 walkers. Pretty cool. Goes, hears Dog in the distance. Dog comes running out. Then we see Roy, who is bloody and not doing well. He lost Gage because Gage and Roy went away. Daryl's trying to bandage Roy up, but he's like, don't waste it on me. Don't do this. Here, take this gun and the grenade. So he has a gun and a grenade. He used the gun to take out the walkers in the train car, and the same thing, he uses the grenade, which is kind of a waste of a grenade, but he uses the grenade, puts it in a zombie's mouth, kicks it, boom, walker falls down, boom, blows up. Everybody's safe, and then they get out. But before that, inside the train cars, you see Gage comes and knocks on a door that they can't open because it's rusted shut and they're trying to get in. That's kind of the theme of this, where they can't pull the doors open and just run away through. Gage is like, hey, I'm sorry, I got lost and I got in this thing. And they're like, you opened up a door, did you close it? And Gage is like, no, because Gage is an idiot. Gage is dumb. Gage needs to go, and he does. Finally, he went after Lydia. He was kind of annoying. He was kind of a punk, right? So Gage realizes that they're not going to open the door because Maggie sees Gage, but she sees the walkers coming behind Gage in the distance. And she says, sorry, man, we can't open it for you. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'll change. I'm sorry I did this. And they realize that he's not going to get the door open. So he takes out 2 knives, steps back, and looks at everybody and starts stabbing himself in the chest, killing himself. Which to me is like, really? Like, what are you doing? That's so stupid. But basically he wants them to realize that they did this. They killed him. They didn't do that. But either way, he gets there, the walkers come around him, and they start ripping him open. Like, ugh. Not biting him, not attacking him, just ripping open the wounds that he cut. Right? So dramatic, and he's like, ugh. Then he falls down, and the walkers are in there. Maggie tells them a story. Alden wanted to help Gage. He's kind of the only one that wanted to help Gage. I think Negan kind of wanted to too. Negan and Alden wanted to help Gage, but neither of them could get through Duncan and all the people. And Maggie made the call to be like, we can't do it. We can't save them. Alden's pissed because Gage gets killed and nobody can look at him. So Alden says, It's a terrible way to die. And Maggie's like, there's way worse ways to die. So she tells the story about when she was with Herschel and they were away and she didn't meet Elijah's group yet. But my question is, where the heck was Georgie and the twins then? If she went away with Georgie and the twins, why were you left by yourself? Why weren't you in some community or some safe zone? You just left Hilltop and everything else, and then you're out there with your son in the middle of nowhere? You're going to tell me that Hilltop is not safer for Herschel and Maggie than the middle of nowhere? Because the story says that she came across the man who had an overturned shopping cart with clothes in it. That was for his daughters. She knew he was a liar, but she was hungry. So she went back to the house, and he tried to kill her. She found the chloroform rag that he was going to use against Maggie. She stuffed that in his face or mouth and then killed the guy, whatever. She went around the house and found some different bodies and stuff, and they were walkers, and she kills them. Then she hears something in the attic or somewhere. Sounds like could be survivors. It turns out they were women that they cut off their arms and legs or something, like some crazy story. She's telling me this story. And then it's a terrible story. It's a zombie apocalypse story that's like, man, but she got away. She loaded up the food. There was a lot of food in the house. She got the food and she left with Herschel. So kind of her experiences when she left kind of made her who she was, and the whole thing with Negan. So she's definitely different and she's changed, as she would, because I feel like she was gone for a long time too. So Xmas Girl asks, Q&A, do you think Maggie came back to help our group with the Whisperers, or did she really come back to get help with the Reapers? Great question. I never thought of it like that. She could have been like, you know what, these Reapers are tough. I'm going to go back right now. But the way she finds the note, and she's like, oh, I got to make sense of this note over here. I got to get back and help my group. Oh, wait, this group was about to kill you and your whole group. Let's come back to their family that you didn't leave and decimate. That's actually a really great point. And I wonder if that's ever going to come up. Because the way you think about it, you're like, oh, Maggie found the note. And as soon as she found the note about the Whispers and everything, she came back. Well, maybe she didn't just come back for that. I guess we'll never know. That's a good fun debate, and both sides. What do you want, Whispers or Reapers? So Maggie and the group and everything, they're trying to get through the doors, and they're trying to crack open the doors, and they pull it open, and they go through it, and then they get through the other door, and then the other door they see is that they're cracking it open, and they can't open it because there's part of the stairs, or sorry, the seat inside one of the train cars is blocking the door. So they can't open it. Meanwhile, Gage, now as a walker, comes through, knocks down the door somehow. It was like rusted shut, and people with huge muscles can't pull open the door. But walkers who aren't strong, right? They're like barely holding on. They're not like super engineered individuals. But either way, they knock the door down. They start coming through. Father Gabriel with the one eye is like taking out all these walkers. They fire arrows. They're doing all that. The other question I brought up in my review too is that if you have a pathway, right? So the walkers are coming through the small train door, and it's open. There's only so much path for them to go. If you kill a walker, the walker is going to fall down or fall back into the walkers that are behind it. So it's going to hit them, and then there's going to be 2 walkers down, and then 2 more walkers down, and then 2 or 3 more walkers down. They're going to fall down and probably fall on top of each other, making a blockade or a blockage. They're not going to be able to get around it. But either way, the walkers keep coming and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, and it's just so dramatic. Daryl, who killed the other walkers and everything's on the other side of the train somehow, some way, comes around, gets to the walkers, kills a bunch of walkers. He fires, I want to say, 14 shots. So hopefully he has at least 16 bullets in his magazine. But to me, it was probably 12. I don't know. It's just something I caught. Is it nitpicking? Maybe. But either way, it's something that I don't know how it goes down. But either way, Daryl goes in, kills a bunch of the walkers with it, moves the chair. Negan, before that, was actually given a gun by Maggie to go help Duncan with the door and kill the other walkers. And so Maggie gave Negan a gun. Later on, after everything settles down, Negan gives the gun back to Maggie. They don't say anything. They just work together. It's kind of understood that they have to work together to survive. They have to put their differences aside to actually survive for the group and everything to work together, is what I assume they assume what they need to think about it. So either way, they make it out. It's all good. They get to the train station, like hub. They wait it out. See, Thomas Howell's character is still alive. He's got the eye patch on and everything. He's all bandaged up. They go upstairs, go out to the street. They say, Negan, do you know where this is? And Maggie brings up the point that Georgie set up different safe houses or places with food and everything around all these different places. So why haven't you been trying to go there in the first place? What are you doing here, right? Why do you have to go to the Meridian? Go to that place instead of the Meridian. But either way, they're going to go there. They got food, ammo, guns, where they're going to go. They start walking down the street. It's a dark, secluded, terrible street with bodies hanging upside down by their feet. It's the Reaper's territory. Negan's like, oh, this place is going to, it's not really looking really well. We can double back and go around. And by the time they can move, see Thomas Howell's character, Roy, gets an arrow to the face. So I'm guessing he's dead. I think Cole gets injured by an arrow and everybody has to run into the woods and go hide. Then you see the Reapers walking down the street in the V formation, looking menacing and formidable. And that's how the episode ends. But before that, there's Commonwealth stuff. So I just kind of wanted to continue that track there. Now in the Commonwealth, we see Princess, Yumiko, and talking at the table. Yumiko is going to say, I'm going to go in there and talk to them to see what we can say about this, the information I know about my brother. Because basically since Tommy is there, they're going to have expedited access into the Commonwealth. They're going to go in there because Yumiko's brother Tommy is part of that. It's part of the board. You get to see that in here, so that's the way they're going. Princess is trying to come up with an idea, and I don't know if, Lincoln Case says, was it to face or shoulder? I don't know. I thought it was face. It happens really fast, but I would assume Roy dies. But it happens really fast, and he was taken out. So I just don't see Roy making it out of that. But you never know. Maybe in episode 3, we'll get to see the battle with the Reapers in the woods, and maybe he's there. Or maybe he dies there. I don't know. But Princess is kind of talking to Yumiko, and then Eugene comes out of nowhere, and it's like, Ezekiel, they took Ezekiel. Where's Ezekiel? We got to do something. What's going on here? And they're freaking out. Yumiko is like, calm down. We're going to come up with a plan. We're going to do this. We're going to talk to them. Then there's a woman in the Commonwealth armor, probably the armor that they took. She's walking there. Princess is like, she knows. They know what we're going to do. They're freaking out, even though the Commonwealth soldiers don't know anything. Yumiko's like, relax. She comes over to the woman in the Commonwealth armor. You don't know she's a woman until she talks. But then she says, where's our friend? I want to talk to the person's in charge here. And the woman goes, you want to talk to my manager? It's kind of funny. It's like a Karen moment. Like, let me see your manager. And that's when Princess is like, yeah, let's talk to your manager. So Yumiko goes in to talk with the auditors again. And the two people, the woman and the man, look at Yumiko, and the woman asks, the guy says nothing the entire time. The woman says everything. She says, what are you trying to get out of this? And he's like, well, you're interrogating me. I've been interrogating you. I know all about you. You're probably a forensic psychologist, and you're probably a researcher, and you're probably this. What did you do again? You know I'm a lawyer. I went to Oxford and Harvard. You know that. So stop playing the games. Stop doing all this. I want expedited expedition because my brother is probably in your community. He's a thoracic surgeon. But she knows all this, so she's using that. You probably use the currency that you took from my friend, a $2 bill, which is ridiculous, by the way, because you want to have stuff that's familiar with people. You need us, and we need you. You need us just as much as that, because you need to verify that you're, acceptable, that you're good, that what they're doing is right for the world. They need new people just like new people need them. And it was kind of interesting to see Yumiko turn the tide and just switch things on the auditors. And then you don't see her again. You don't see Princess. You see Princess and Eugene, and they're waiting for Yumiko to come out of there. Princess is like, I have to pee. I have to do this. By the time she gets out, I'll probably be in this. She walks over to a Commonwealth soldier. She speaks Spanish to him. She knows that he speaks Spanish. So she's very observant. She knows all these different things are going around. She talks about this, this, and this, and this. They have a bathroom in there. They have toilet paper. She's like, I'm excited. She goes in there. You don't see her again to the end of the episode. Eugene is freaking out. He's walking around. He goes over to a Commonwealth soldier. He's like, where are my friends? My friend that went in there. What's happened with her? There's nobody in there, sir. Get out of there. Please get out of here, sir. So he goes back to his area, he's in like a train car or something. Like he's in a separate area. The Commonwealth, or no, he's not. He's in a separate area by himself. Everybody's gone except for Eugene. The Commonwealth soldiers come over to him. He's making like a shiv, like a piece of wood that's made into like a knife. And, kind of reminds me of Rosita in season 5, Terminus. But the Commonwealth soldiers bring Eugene into interrogation with Mercer. The woman is gone. It's Mercer and the guy. The guy opens up a thing. His pen's in there with like handcuffs and different tools or whatever. So it's Mercer now. Mercer is asking Eugene questions. Eugene is freaking out. He's nervous. He's scared. And Mercer's like, man, Eugene, you are a terrible liar. What are you doing here with this? I got 2 questions for you. Where is your settlement, and what were you doing at the rail yard or the train tracks or the rail, whatever it is, the trains? And he's like, oh, well, I wanted to have my travel companions that we came, I wanted to protect them. And he's trying to like be honest and then do this. And then he ultimately is like, I'm going to be honest. Well, I was on the radio and I was trying to listen to somebody and no one was listening to me. And then I was talking and talking. And finally someone came on the radio. It was Stephanie. And Stephanie was this. And he admits that he likes Stephanie. He doesn't want Stephanie to, not like him and not trust him. And he admits that he's a virgin. And he admits that, I feel like Stephanie could be the one for me. And he's just coming clean with everything. And then Mercer buys it. They get Eugene. They put the hood on top of his head. He comes over to the train car. They opens the thing. He comes in. There's different people in there, and you see Princess, Yumiko, and Ezekiel. They're all there. Like, hey, Eugene. He comes over, gives him a hug. It's everybody. Great. Mercer comes in. He gets a piece of paper from someone in there. He reads the thing. He's like, welcome to blah, 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 blah. And he tells them, welcome to the Commonwealth. They open the door. Mercer looks at Ezekiel. And he says like, you'll be greeted by a beat cop, because that's what Ezekiel and Mercer had this like really contentious argument. And so he says, Mercer looks at Ezekiel and says, I went to West Point, a-hole. And he walked away from him. Then a woman comes in and she says, I'm looking for Eugene. So that's Stephanie. But I believe it's fake Stephanie. And I forget the person who said it in here says they think that fake Stephanie is part of level 2 processing, because it's level 1 processing in that area. Level 2 processing could be before they get to the true Commonwealth. Because Mercer says, welcome to the Commonwealth. And then he opens part of it. And that's the other side of the train cart. So I'm not sure if that's exactly the Commonwealth. I would assume it's part of the outposts, part of it. So Stephanie, fake Stephanie, is probably going to be feeling out Eugene, getting information out of her, or she's going to get information out of Eugene. They're probably going to be monitored, and as we know from the trailer, Stephanie, Eugene, or fake Stephanie, I should say, Lisa Loeb Stephanie with Eugene, Mercer, and the Commonwealth soldiers come in, and Eugene's on the ground, and then Eugene's in a jumpsuit, and so is fake Stephanie. So something happens where I don't think that's the real Stephanie. I think it's more interrogation, more feeling them out, doing their due diligence, and really getting information to see if we can trust them. Because Eugene doesn't talk about his settlement in Virginia, Alexandria, Hilltop, anything there at all. He doesn't really mention that at all. And Mercer wants to know that information. Eugene's probably going to get in trouble. And none of this is in the episode, by the way. This is like future, like a lot of stuff with Eugene and Stephanie. That's probably going to be in episode 3, 4, 5. And some of the synopses have come out for the first part of season 11. So I'll be sharing that with you. I've already shared so many of the synopsis. I know there's episodes 7 and 8, and some pretty big spoilers in the synopsis for sure. What's going to be in those episodes too. So we'll have to see how it goes down for it. But Commonwealth, they're on their way. The Reapers are finally seen at the end of the episode. So I'm loving the idea that we're getting there. It feels like a lot happened in these episodes, and it did, but it didn't at the same time. It's building and building and building, and I really hope there's a payoff for it. The Commonwealth is going to be interesting because of the comic connection, but the show's take on it with Pamela Milton, no word or sign of Sebastian Milton, and Lance Hornsby. and Mercer. And also there is a little thing where Princess says that hat guy that went in there, she's talking about Mercer because Yumiko says all of her thing and says the whole spiel, and then Mercer comes in and gives Yumiko some coffee. And so we know that Princess thinks Mercer is attractive because they get together in the comic, and she says something like, yeah, the hot guy who gave her a coffee or whatever, and that's Mercer. So we'll have to see if they get together. I kind of think that Yumiko Ezekiel and Princess could get together. And also they say that Ezekiel saw the medic, and the medic gave Ezekiel some cough medicine or some tea, some cough tea or whatever, and that he fell asleep. He took the lantern out of his spot and he slept, and they were everything was okay too. So we'll have to see how it goes down. Mato asks, do you think Leah is going to die? I think so. I mean, it makes sense because she's wearing red and she's a new character that should come and go, and she's connected with the Reapers. She's probably going to go against the Reapers after she finds out about Daryl and Dog and who the Reapers are trying to go after. So I think she intervenes, and she either gets really injured or she dies. But I could see her dying too, saving Daryl and Dog. Adaby says, Q&A, how would you rate this premiere with the others? It's okay. If it was if part 1 and part 2 was one episode, I think it would have been better, but I could see why they broke it up into 2 episodes. It was better than, some openings. I mean, some premieres, but I don't know. I mean, it's not going to beat season 5's opening and stuff. It's definitely a good one. It's a good start. I think so too. So there you go, guys. That's my hour of this live stream. I'll be back next Sunday. Thank you guys for being a part of it. If you've seen the episodes, definitely enjoy them. I have my review up already of the episode I posted before I had the live stream. I already made an opening credits breakdown because it's different for this season. And there's some things in there, some Easter eggs and some stuff that I want to talk about. And I'll post that video tomorrow. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about it. I can't wait to talk about it with you. Susan Young asks, haven't seen it yet. Come out and tonight, do you think Leah is pregnant? That was my theory back in the day. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But I definitely could see if they were going that route in the season 10 extra episodes. But one of my theories was that Leah's pregnant and little Daryl is running around somewhere too. So thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and doing all you can. Be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episode if you haven't seen it yet. Talking Dead is all live tonight. Thank you, guys. And